Has lost his court bid at the Supreme Court of Appeal. The SCA has dismissed the appeal against part of a High Court judgment that he be suspended pending a disciplinary inquiry against him. It also rejected part of the Western Cape High Court ruling, which said that Public Protector Thuli Madonsela's rulings were not binding. Following an application by the Democratic Alliance, the Western Cape High Court ruled that Motsoeneng should be suspended for 60 days pending the outcome of a disciplinary hearing, as Madonsela had instructed. Judge Ashton Skeppers granted Motsoeneng leave to appeal, but ruled that the interim suspension should come into effect immediately. The Communications Minister said that the SABC were the other applicants in the appeal.
We are basically back to the Judge Skipper's judgment in Cape Town. That being the case, you would remember that there was no positive duty imposed on him. This is Mr. Motsoeneng. What the judge then had directed, which has not been replaced or substituted with any subsequent order by the Supreme Court of Appeal judges, was that the SABC must commence disciplinary proceedings against him within 14 days of the date of that order. And that disciplinary proceedings will commence when he receives a charge sheet detailing out whatever charges that he may have to account. And further, that such a disciplinary inquiry must be independently chaired, and that most importantly, pending the commencement and the duration of those disciplinary proceedings, he will be suspended.
Well, the Office of the Public Protector Thuli Madonsela says they will comment after they have read the judgment. Well, our reporter Richard Newton was at court this morning covering the judgment for us. He joins us now from our Bloemfontein studios. Richard, thanks for joining us. So first of all, the High Court basing its decision on the Public Protector's report. What does today's judgment mean for the COO?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, the judgment that was handed down today dismissing the appeal effectively takes us right back to the Western Cape High Court ruling that the disciplinary hearing must go ahead and that the COO should be suspended for the period of this investigation and the hearing itself. Obviously, what we have heard is that Mr. Motsoeneng himself has said that he respects the ruling done today, and it's now in the hands of the SABC to now put the tribunal together to get a disciplinary hearing underway and to come up with the time frame in which this will happen. So we are back to the Western Cape High Court ruling that the disciplinary hearing must go ahead. Now, you'll recall that when this case was heard in the Supreme Court of Appeal on the 18th of last month, everyone agreed that a disciplinary hearing should go ahead. The COO himself said it'll give him a chance to clear his name and put his side of the story. So there's no argument on that. And the other issue was that of suspension, which now the court has ruled the appeal against the suspension has been dismissed, so there must be a suspension during this period. So the ball is now in the court of the SABC to get the disciplinary hearing up and running, and that's where we are with the CEO's position on this.
All right, and now where are we in terms of with the outcome of the Supreme Court's decision this morning? What does this mean for other recommendations that the Public Protector has made?
Well, this is what a lot of people were watching this case specifically for, was to see how this issue of the Public Protector's findings will be handled. You'll remember that the Western Cape High Court came up with the issue of binding and enforceable, using those sort of terms, and the court ruled that that is just confusing, and that the remedial action of the Public Protector has legal effect. And if I could just read one point here, it says the Public Protector cannot realise the constitutional purpose of her office if other organs of state may second-guess her findings and ignore her recommendations. So basically, the court was saying that you can't have parallel investigations to what the Public Protector has her findings and recommendations. So basically coming up and saying that only a court of law is another route to go if you are unhappy with the Public Protector's finding. You can't hold your own investigations. You can't hold parallel investigations. Her findings are legal.
All right, Richard, thank you very much. We'll leave it there. That's our reporter, Richard Newton, live from our studios in Bloemfontein. Well, shifting